I'll give you a clue. It was Grimsby.
They are pressing quite well. What's happened there? You've got to be joking.
Oh, sorry, I've done it the wrong way around. I've drawn an arrow. I haven't seen it. Sorry.
He must have a horsey up his ass.
If we're playing on professional and that's happening for Barcelona,
2 years ago. Sorry about that. I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry, that's just put me off the game. I'm not having that.
Anyway, segue, moving on.
What has that got to do with football? Why is that at a football ground?
Hello and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Honest Football Podcast, where we bring honesty back to the beautiful game. I'm Craig Savage, and with me as always is Daniel Cody and Charlie Betts.
Yes, and after a 1 week break in this week's Ramble, we should have double the amount of weird and wonderful stories from the footballing world to take you through at our leisure.
So, how was your Christmas period and New Year's celebration go?
Very good. Yeah, no, I was in Northern Ireland, went and watched a bit of football, which I'll reference later. Upon returning, though, on the, what would that be, the 29th of December, went to my local co-op on New Year's Day, so we've got all the Christmas period out of the way, had a lovely New Year's Eve, all of that. Lo and behold, I go and get a loaf of bread, and what do I see near the front of the tills? Easter eggs.
Oh!
Easter eggs.
Now, that's controversial.
Can you believe that? Genuinely.
Now,
we're talking about the 1st of January, we haven't even got over the Christmas period, no one's back to work yet, and Easter eggs are out.
And Easter's late this year, it's not
Exactly.
till mid-April.
Middle of April.
End of April.
Who is honestly buying Easter eggs now? If genuinely, if anyone's doing that, I'm more than happy to eat my words on this. But I don't know anyone who's buying an Easter egg.
Would it make you feel better if we did a midweek rant on Easter eggs?
Well, I know an Easter egg. Easter eggs are brilliant, but I just don't get why they were at the front of the shop as well.
It's like the same thing, like January sale goes on sale on December the 24th.
I've got to say,
December the 26th.
And the Black Friday sale that goes on sale a week before.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
Cyber Monday. How does that work out?
But that's only a week. You're like Dan did say, you're talking about 4.5 months now.
Yeah,
of
I
Easter
agree.
eggs. Absurd.
For a person who works in retail, we've got the small eggs in. But
you shouldn't have any eggs though.
It's alright, we're getting Halloween stuff in 2 months' time.
Oh,
We're ready sorted.
How's your week been, Craig?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you know what,
Let's not rant about Easter eggs any longer.
No.
Mine's been alright, to be fair, considering I work in retail during Christmas. It was pretty tough, but
I mean,
Wait, you weren't back to full time, were you?
No.
And also, you'd had a previous 9 months off before that. You'd had longer than maternity leave off, to be honest. So.
And it was tough. But other than that, it was very nice. Very quiet up into the new year, but yeah, Christmas was very good.
Lovely stuff. Well, I'm glad you put a nice little positive bit in the middle there, because I'm going to go back to Charlie's negativity.
No.
I want to talk this week, and I've mentioned the name I'm going to rant about at the start of this podcast.
And you asked if I'd wear my England cricket top, which I am, in reference to
It's
this.
certainly puzzled Craig.
What's this got to do with you? How was your Christmas, guys?
Well, my guilty pleasure over December and January, all the way forward to the middle of February now, because it's been extended, is another sporting competition which isn't football, which is the Big Bash Australian T20 Cricket League.
Very good.
Yes.
It's a brilliant watch. It's on normally about 8 till 11:30 in the morning. So obviously I work most weekday mornings. I have to record it and watch it the day after. But it's brilliant commentary. It's all the old cricketing legends from Australia having a laugh. So lots of Gilchrist, Ponting and all of that. There's 3 of them in the box.
Not the other Australians, like Bancroft and...
No, not those sorts.
No, okay.
Bancroft made his return from a ban last week. It was controversial. But
out for 2, shall we
we're
say?
not political.
And we're not to Carry on.
Yeah, it was out for 2. It wasn't great. But yes, the one thing I wanted to moan about with this is that I was enjoying it. I was having my usual fun. And what turned up on New Year's Day, as I was catching up 3 or 4 days behind, as the third man in the commentary box, Phil Tufnell. And he is, let's be honest, he's got a reputation of a bit of a clown, and he wasn't adding commentary about the cricket. He was just talking in riddles. he was just talking sort of Cockney rhyming slang in the middle of nowhere. He's hit the ball before, and he's just going, oh, apples and pears, apples and pears. What the fuck does that mean, Phil? Phil, you're giving me no content. And if you watch that, because lots of that is casual viewing the T20 game. If you're trying to get people into cricket watching that, and you've just got him talking about cats and pears and apples and all sorts of shit, what the hell are you going to get out of that? And I just want to say that for the Christmas and New Year period, the few days I had off work and caught up, you ruined my week.
And now it's time for Ramble of the Week.
Okay, so as you are aware, obviously a couple of days ago, it was New Year. Just one really quick story from Scotland. There was you might actually remember from from a podcast a few episodes ago about Queen's Park, who kept getting mistakenly tweeted for the Canadian government.
Yes.
Well, not in the same grand of stuff, but something similar has quite happened, where a bloke called Patrick Thistle has been inundated with tweets about Partick Thistle.
I love it.
So unfortunately, in the end, Patrick snapped and basically fired out a tweet that said, Happy 2019. I'm not Partick Thistle Football Club. Please never contact me again. So, there you go. So make sure, I think the moral of the story, when you tweet a club, make sure you spell it correctly.
And that's not a hard one. Not like the other one. That's not difficult.
Yeah. Patrick Partick Thistle. There's no need for that.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to John Still, are we, Craig?
Yes, the legend Sir John, who's got his own bus in the town of Luton.
Yes.
As
What?
Yeah, he's got a bus named after him.
He's got a bus. I didn't know that, right? I stand corrected on that.
And he's got a key to the town hall, obviously.
Got a key to the town.
I did not know he had a bus.
Yeah, he's got a bus. He's retired
And
from
this
management.
Yes, this has worked great for two ways for me, and I did actually put it in the comments of the podcast.
I didn't notice this
for the
earlier.
predictions. Yes.
I thought, you cheeky bastard.
Not only was he a legend at Luton Town, obviously after a long downward spiral, he's the man who started what Nathan Jones is continuing now, but also you both predicted Barnet to go up. In your prediction show last week, you said, we're keeping faith because they've got Still.
That's right.
And by the time the episode would come out, John Still was with his feet up on the sofa going, what the hell are these two clowns on about?
Well, like with John Still has some famous quotes, and he always said about having these ingredients and building a strong team. You have all these ingredients and make the perfect cake, and that's what I think he's done with Luton Town. Really, he had the ingredients to build players, got them up to the Football League. And Nathan Jones has taken that cake and he's pretty much eating it and
I mean, I'm not sure you've quite sold the analogy perfectly there, but I get your point. But on a serious note, he doesn't get, because of what Nathan Jones is doing now with the style of football and things, he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for the foundations he put in place there at that club. And the amount of players that he sold on for bigger fees and players that he signed that are still going for bigger fees. They're the sort of ones that have allowed us to do what we're doing now. Definitely. And one of them, they came up against last week in Cameron McGeehan. So there's another example of it.
And built players like Andre Gray is now playing in the Premier League with Watford.
Oh yeah, I mean there's so many examples, and he deserves a lot of credit, and especially for me because he's definitely made sure you're not getting 5 points.
Let's hope Darren Curry does the job. Believe it, Darren Curry.
Awful appointment that is, by the way.
Unless Martin Allen comes back.
No.
He's a free man.
I predicted it in the pre-season.
He's a free man. He's less Chesterfield.
Another quick one for you. Boxing Day, Tranmere played Morecambe. I don't know if you saw this. Linesman went to the game, forgot his football boots. What did he do instead? He did the line in his loafers. There's an actual picture. So the linesman, proper...
In a national league?
This is national. Honestly, Google it. So honestly, you can.
That can't be allowed.
I'll show you the picture.
Can I go back?
Can you not go to the boot room?
No, honestly, he didn't. There's a picture. Someone's taking it from the stand. He didn't have his boots, so he did it in his.
I want to go back to something here. The referee in non-league, or the Women's Super League, who got fined for not having his coin. Did he get a hefty fine? Because that's worse.
I don't know if
that genuinely,
almost in black.
That harms the game because he might not be able to keep up. He might slip and miss an offside. Whereas forgetting your coin is nothing because he improvised. But that's baffling to me.
That's great improvisation. Even though he could just go in the Tranmere boot room, so I couldn't just borrow a pair of boots.
Yeah. Well, that's what I didn't understand, to be fair. But yeah, there you go.
And they can no longer call himself the greatest league structure in the world.
I'll show you the picture in a minute.
I've got another one on officiating, a very little tiny one. From Arsenal v Fulham the other day. In fact, probably only 2 days ago as we were recording this. New Year's Day it was on.
Yes.
Geographical officials. It was a little thing that became quite viral on Twitter. 2 of the officials were named after compass points. Richard West was one of the linesmen. And the 4th official was Roger East.
No way!
I love that!
No way! That is quality, that is.
But sorry mate, you carry on with your little ones.
No, I've got no one there. So, the manager of Bostik North Side Barking, Justin Gardner. Bearing in mind that obviously that's semi-professional, isn't it?
Barking.
Yeah. He made his players train on Christmas Day. They trained every day. So
I did see this. Yeah.
Christmas Day was on the Tuesday. Their next game was on the Saturday. He made them train on Christmas Day.
That's mad.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where do you draw a line on that, honestly? But yeah,
I agree.
Just don't train on Christmas Day.
Well, no, that's true.
I've got something a little bit on the opposite to that, actually. Our little stories are just complement each other perfectly.
They're segue into each other. What's going on?
Going back to Aldershot from the other week, a returning story. They've become quite lucky from the FA Cup tie because they were due to play Barnet this weekend. We've mentioned before they only had 10 first-team fit players over the Christmas period. They played their under-18s at Bedford in the FA Trophy, lost 7-0.
Yes.
Their game was postponed because Barnet are in the FA Cup, and because they went out of the FA Trophy, they've now got nearly a 3-week break between games.
So
hopefully they'll get a few fit. And there's just 2 points above the relegation zone, so hopefully that'll work out well for them on the other side of things.
No,
well, speaking of non-league, I'm going to go to a game, obviously, Truro versus Torquay.
Yes.
It was at Playmore, it wasn't at Treyu Road because they're not going back to Treyu Road.
So where, sorry?
Treyu Road.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Let's just say to their home ground.
To their actual home ground.
Because then people will know what we're saying.
Yeah. Right, so, obviously, the game was at Playmore.
Yes.
The attendance was 2,812.
Yes.
Where it was 52 home fans and 2,760 away.
It's brilliant, wasn't it? There was a game recently, was it Sunderland?
Blackpool.
Yes, you've got another one there.
Yeah, Sunderland Blackpool at Bloomfield Road, shall I say. 10,994. 7,804 were away fans and 3,190 were at home. I know Blackpool had problems with the owners, but that's taking the piss now. What's a bit frustrating. But Sunderland keep doing this. They keep getting 2,000-3,000 away fans. They did that at Coventry, they did it at Walsall, done it at Accrington. Where's the balance in that? Do you see like Luton fans can do that? Do you not see like Portsmouth fans get to do that?
It depends. There's some teams where you know all the fans are going to travel in London. So
do you think that's a good business point?
I think it's a good business point. Maybe not so much at League One. I think it starts to lose its integrity. But when we were in the National League with Luton, a lot of the away teams used to give us 2 of the 4 stands just so they could get a full crowd in. Because that would probably fund them for another couple of months.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with it. But at League One, it does start to lose its credibility.
Well, it's quite interesting because that was going to be my next story. So another segue was Coventry are kicking off about the fact that they're bringing a massive contingent to Plymouth and they're getting charged £24 a head.
Oh, that's scandalous.
Which, for League Two and that 7-hour round trip.
High.
But it's like you're saying, if you're allowing a bigger... Like, what I'm saying, I suppose, is if you're going to allow a bigger fan base to come than what you normally would, should you then reduce the price of the ticket or not?
That's where the problem...
Coventry to Plymouth?
Yeah, Coventry to Plymouth.
I don't know why they're charging £24 because Plymouth only got 3 stands at the moment because they're redeveloping their main stand.
But that's where the problem comes because some teams use it as a business model, which is fine. But don't then put your prices up from the regular. I mean, I don't know if Plymouth. I wouldn't have thought they're normally £24. They shouldn't be.
No, this to be fair,
they shouldn't be charging more than Luton based on the way they play.
This was yesterday.
They shouldn't be charging more than £20.
I haven't checked since yesterday, but that's what it is. What the thing was yesterday for that. So
lots of attendance figures, and good to see we found Craig's kryptonite, which is pronouncing road names.
One story that we missed by a matter of hours. I don't know if you caught this going off to Sweden now, because we recorded this on the Friday, and then this story got released Saturday morning about the Swedish club who was selling their captain's DNA. Do you remember this?
Yes, I did see this.
We were gutted that we didn't get to do this on the previous episode, but basically, for whatever reason, they're selling. Let me get his name right. For £307, they're selling the crystallised DNA of club legend Nils Erik Johansson, who was forced to retire in February because of a heart defect.
Oh.
So it comes in a tube and it lasts up to 500 years.
Oh, very good.
What's the?
That's better than a half-and-half scarf.
It is, but what's it for?
It doesn't really say.
He's
to
a
be
legend.
But do you just want some DNA sitting on the table? What does that do?
You never know in future. You never know.
He said so basically he's got 371 boxes, which is of DNA, which is how many appearances he made for the club.
Oh, I like that.
Each one represents one game that he played in for them.
That's good.
I don't really know what the point of it is.
I'm not totally on board with this story.
I just think it's really, really weird.
Really
that you would just, like, why would you sell your own DNA? But there you go. So rather than getting an autograph, you can now literally own him.
Oh, fair enough.
There you go, see? That's how much of a legend he is.
Moving on to clothing and accessories, I just wanted to use
Christmas
this
jumpers.
opportunity. No,
okay.
It's just a very quick opportunity to send a reminder personally to Charlie Betts as he's sitting opposite me. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup 4th round draw on Monday. And I just want to make sure you've got your scarf ready to put over the left-hand side.
Oh, no, that's good. I have actually. No, it's a good point. I'm going to get some sugar paper and I'm going to put it over the side of it.
Because you very much hate the numbers.
I don't like seeing the numbers. I'm not going over that again, but it ruins
But then they show the numbers on the ticket bar as well.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh,
in that case, then I might just have to keep the right-hand corner of it.
Get the tinsel back up.
Oh, goodness.
Speaking of FA Cup, Cody, you're going to an FA Cup game this weekend?
Yes, so we're recording this podcast today earlier than normal on Thursday night because of the FA. They've moved for international TV rights. They have moved Sheffield Wednesday v Luton back to Saturday lunchtime, which means I'm now staying in nearby Leeds on Friday night, which means I'm spending more on a train and more on a hotel. So thank you very much, the FA. You've ruined my week almost as much as Phil Tufnell.
Another sacking over the Christmas period. Harry Wheeler, Maidstone United.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Interesting one.
That is
4 months in
one.
charge. That was already.
Considering they've got Jake Robinson in from Biderica Town, I thought he's going to provide some goals for him.
And it's harmed both of them, hasn't it?
It's harmed
Biderica
and it's harmed
obviously
Maidstone.
struggling as well in a minute. Did you? I don't know if you saw what's happened. Not what happened, but you know Wrexham.
Yes.
I didn't realise this. One of the stands behind the goal has been defunct. Not defunct.
It's not fit for purpose. It's really old school territory.
So what they're going to do is they're going to turn it into a museum.
Oh.
Right. So rather than repairing the stand and all of that, they're just literally going to keep the shell of it and turn it into like a museum of the club.
That seems a bit strange. If they were this year to go up to the EFL, a 4th stand would be quite useful at that point. Probably.
Yeah, and people mock Luton for having 3 stands. Well, just the executive boxes.
Because that stand was called the Cop, and they're going to turn it into they're getting a new training ground, and off the back of the money for that as well, they're going to invest in that stand and make it into a museum.
Well, they better get promoted this season, shouldn't
it's interesting if nothing else.
There you go.
Speaking of interesting but nothing else,
I don't know if you'll get away with that one. That's pushing it.
Well, Blythe Spartans.
Oh,
this is
you're going to
brilliant.
deliver. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, if you haven't seen over the Christmas period, Blythe Spartans have got a new advertising board in the ground, and it's got to do with Visit North Korea.
I'd just like to clarify, because I did a little bit of reading on this. The actual company is called Visit North Korea. The initial outcry was that Blythe Spartans were advertising go and visit North Korea. But actually, although it is the company is about Visit North Korea.
But funny enough, I've seen a video where North Korean, like a TV news channel, was showing highlights from Blythe Spartans game.
Oh no, see, no, that's
that a rib or was that?
No,
just...
that's a parody thing. Yes.
Oh, that would have been genius.
And yeah, they translated it as obviously,
that would have been amazing.
But yeah, so there's a strong link between those two. So yeah,
so don't visit North Korea, people.
Don't visit North Korea. No. Nice story. Atletico Madrid have started an academy in Pakistan. For those of you who are interested, we haven't been to Pakistan ever on this ramble.
No, and it's not like we're going to go to Pakistan ever again.
No, okay, fair enough.
Sorry, guys.
But it's nice to have a story from someone else around the world.
No, but essentially so
it
it wasn't already. It was a team in Lahore in Pakistan.
Yeah.
That Atletico Madrid have identified that there might be a market to develop some players from there, bring them through. Likelihood of them seeing any obviously gain from that now is you're going to have to wait a generation nearly, but. You never know. That is probably an untapped area of sporting.
To be fair, it does raise quite a serious point because in Africa there's always been this thing about trafficking of young players.
Yes,
when they've been sold the dream of going to a professional club and then it's never
Which
been.
is awful.
But if the big clubs are there in an official basis, that will hopefully reduce that because the players will be training at the official academies.
Yes,
and then if an agent comes along, the club will hopefully be there to support.
Yeah, there's all of that organisation
there. So that could be actually quite a good thing to come out of it in developing countries.
So I think it actually starts in January, but yeah, they've obviously put in all of the stuff. Better get all the proper kit and all of that. So,
but it's January, Charlie. So
well, yeah, it's January. True. Yeah. I'm looking. Carry on, over to you.
Now I want to talk about the. Children's experience of a day going to the football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously you get to see your players that you idolise, and now you get to sign autographs. You get
Pitch for the mascot.
Pitch for the mascot. Yeah. You walk out onto the pitch. How much do you think those parents have to pay for that? It's for Swansea.
For Swansea, I'm not sure. At Luton, it's not a huge amount for what you get because they get lots of experience in the games room as well. But I'm guessing it's going to be shocking if you're asking.
It's about 400 quid.
£478.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, clubs, obviously we're not a Premier League podcast here, but even though we talked about Arsenal Fulham just now. But Premier League, most of the Premier League clubs, kids go for free, and obviously with the mascots and walk onto the pitch. Obviously West Ham's the most expensive one, £700.
Which is baffling, because as we spoke about before on this, I don't know if we have actually, but it's a well-known fact that like 11 or 12 Premier League clubs can operate on an empty stadium.
Yes,
do they need that £400? I mean, in a nice way possible. Do they need that 4 or 5? I mean, West Ham pays £700 for a match.
With the greatest respect, Swansea just being relegated and still getting the Premier League parachute payment. Do they need it?
No. Yeah, but for that deal, that is absolutely disgusting. Especially for the kids, it's for them to enjoy their day out rather than.
It gets to the point where you're taking the mick out of your most loyal fans, as we've mentioned so many times on various different episodes. It is such a shame.
Yeah,
but
that is shocking.
Can I move on to something slightly more jovial?
I've got another one for jovial.
It features my favourite footballer, Neymar.
Oh, okay, yes.
God.
There was something, it did first come up in the summer where a club did something at half time as a challenge, and they've made it a full-time fixture because it's been so popular.
Oh, okay, yes.
And it is called, it's like the half-time competition, so you like at Luton have the hot shots where the winner gets 2 free tickets or whatever, you get the ball through the gaps and things like that.
We have to roll with Neymar.
What you have to do is 3 people compete each half-time, rolling from the halfway line to the goal line in the quickest possible, and the winner gets a free match ticket for the next game.
Okay, who's the team? And let's praise them.
The team is in South America and Mexico. I will find the name for you in a minute because I've done a Charlie with my notes. So
no, it's alright. Keep filling.
We'll ramble over here.
Club Tijuana, I believe it is.
Club was that?
Club Tijuana.
Tijuana, okay.
They're known also as Zolos, apparently.
Oh, okay, you could have said that.
But yeah, there's a great picture. It's not very good because it's on my dodgy printer, but there's just a string of people rolling along the football pitch at half time. It's a brilliant challenge, and they did it in the World Cup after that famous 40 minutes on the floor, but they've made it a permanent fixture as their half time.
Brazil did play Mexico.
They did.
They did.
So I just thought it was very really entertaining. So
I like that.
Credit to them.
Quick thing in Scotland, there's a team called the Spartans. Again, this happened the day after we recorded our podcast, but basically their Twitter account said that there was a break in play as the referee had to shovel a jobby off the pitch. Didn't know what jobby was. Turns out it means a poo. So
I would have assumed that.
I knew it was that.
Well, I didn't know what it was, but yeah, basically the game had to be paused because there was a poo on the pitch. Yeah, that was as far as I got with that. Oh yeah, another thing, a bit of mindlessness from the FA. We like to moan about them a little bit.
Yes, we do.
Because I saw quite a lot of tweets about this, but just to give you some context about ridiculous distances to travel just before Christmas.
Oh, yes.
So on the weekend before Christmas, Saturday the 22nd, Sunderland went to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Obviously, these are waiting. Havant and Waterloo went to Hartlepool.
That's the worst of
it. Yeah, for a non-league club, that's absurd. Carlisle had to go to Crawley. Middlesbrough went to Reading. I mean, I know these are still Premier League and Championship clubs, but it's still for the fan base. It's still a long way to go. Swansea had to go to Hull. Accrington had to go to Plymouth, and Cambridge to Morecambe. You think that's just the 3 days before Christmas is just absurd.
Luton go to Scunthorpe on Boxing Day.
It leads me on to a biased point, obviously, as a Luton fan. Not just the Scunthorpe on Boxing Day. 4 of the 5 games after Christmas away to Scunthorpe, Walsall, Sheffield Wednesday, and Sunderland.
Yeah.
4 of the first 5 games.
Well, you can't do nothing like the Sheffield Wednesday one.
Yes, but you could have not moved it to 12:45 for a start to make it a bit cheaper.
Yeah, it would have been Portsmouth at home.
Absolutely absurd across the board, and again, as you say, the fans are getting shafted.
Barnsley going to Luton on New Year's Day.
They don't.
And you're not thinking about the limitations on travel, and particularly public transport on those days. But again, as we've mentioned so many times, they don't care about the fans because half of them can run off empty stadiums.
That is true.
All done by a computer.
Do you remember our ex-Arsenal legend Christopher Wray?
Yes, I do.
He's had his ban lifted. Did you know he was even banned in the first place?
No.
So what happened was there was a game where 2 of his players got sent off for fighting, and all Christopher Wray did was basically criticise the referee, and he was given a 6-month ban.
Okay, we do that on the regular.
No, but basically in Liberia they don't take.
This is in Liberia.
So he's a Liberian under-20 coach as well as coaching for a club team. Okay. They obviously don't take kindly to the lack of respect that he was showing by just using a few expletives about the referee. 6-month ban, but it's then since been overturned.
Well done, Chris.
As much as I don't like and agree with the harshness of that sentence, in the English game that'd be a great way to get it out.
Oh yeah, exactly. You ban everyone for 6 months.
Ban everyone for 6 months. Have a game finish 0-0 in terms of players, not just results.
Anything else from you lads?
I'll let you go first, Craig. You got anything?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, it'll be over to me now. I've got 2 more.
Yeah.
One of them is a story from the last 2 weeks, and one of them's just a little fun bit. So we'll have a little game towards the end before Charlie takes over.
Before gets to 5 when I lose again because I'll try and be too complicated. Go on.
I wanted to talk about Filippo Pericini. I don't know if you've seen this or not. In Italian Serie B, Palermo v Ascoli scored one of the best own goals you will ever see. I can't believe neither of you have seen this. The ball was passed back to him from the left full-back into his 6-yard box. He takes a first touch onto his right foot in the middle of the 6-yard box. The striker closes him down. He tries to do the clever Cruyff turn, gets the ball caught underneath his feet, and then his second touch halfway through the turn is to pass the ball into the back of his own net from 6 yards. They lost the game 3-0. Absolutely fantastic. I implore anyone to go out and watch it. I'll put it on the Twitter when this episode comes out. Just go and watch it. It's a fantastic home goal. I mean, I feel sorry for the lad. It seemed like he'd had quite a good season up to that.
There was a it was penalty. I can't remember where it was. It might have been Inter Milan. It might have been Inter Milan. No, Fenerbahce. So it was in Turkey. It was in Fenerbahce. Guys take the old Pogba little slow run up, and they tried to dink it, and he went so far right. It didn't reach the goal line.
Oh, bless him. That's a shame. There was one in Spain as well, on the other side of that. Arduiz, the experienced
Bilbao player, yes. And that was amazing.
One-step penalty, like the old six-a-side, and put it into the bottom corner with plenty of power. Yeah, proves you don't need all these stupid run-ups.
And it proves you don't need to do six-a-side when you can just do that.
He's honed them skills.
Enough about that.
Really quickly, obviously, Macclesfield are now off the bottom. Much to Craig and my annoyance, because we predicted Notts County to win the league, and they are currently bottom, and now because Macclesfield have now gone above them.
And on a point we mentioned a few weeks ago, we said that Sol Campbell's first interview wasn't particularly impressive at Macclesfield, but he does seem to be.
I was about to say I'll eat some humble pie.
He said he might not have been being arrogant. He may just be one of the greatest football managers that's ever lived, and we didn't know it yet. So I look forward to seeing how that develops.
I will say just a couple of stories in Northern Ireland, and then I'll finish on a nice African one.
Yes, so you was in Northern Ireland over the Christmas period, and you went to watch Ballymena.
I did a cracking game against Coleraine on Boxing Day.
Coleraine.
Finished 3-3, but. And I think that football in general, seldom do you ever see a 0-0 because
it's good for the spectators.
Exactly, yeah. You definitely get your money's worth. But yeah, it was a last-minute equaliser, so you can never go wrong with that. But I don't know if you saw that Mark Sykes of Glenarvan, I think you probably wouldn't.
I have seen this.
Due to go to Port Vale of League 2, who are struggling, and I get that,
Features your favourite manager.
Well, this
Yeah,
is it. I
does.
get annoyed because, to be honest, they haven't done anything wrong. But it's
just you.
It's just because it's
Bitter.
Carl Robinson that's pissed me off. But they basically gazumped the deal at the last minute. Terms have been agreed and all sorts.
Great use of adjectives.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, morally is that wrong for the kid himself? I suppose he's going from a League 2 team to a League 1 team instead. In the sense of he would have gone to Port Vale, but now he's going to Oxford, who are struggling.
At the end of the day, the kid could have turned around and said, "No, I'm going
yeah,
to
it's true.
I've agreed to deal."
It just annoys me that Carl Robinson's gazumped him.
What is your problem with Carl Robinson?
I mean,
He's a fraud of a manager. That's what he is.
I'm going to be honest. Carl Robinson probably didn't have much involvement.
No.
Probably not. Well, yeah, because he's on this player.
And
fair enough.
another bit of news just before we went on, Glentoran has sacked their manager Ronnie McFall, who's a club legend, because they're near the relegation zone, and for a Belfast club that's almost unheard of. So there you go. Last one in Zambia, in Africa, of course.
Hang on.
And
Into
now-
Africa
yeah.
with Charlie Betts.
No, this is actually quite a nice story. So it starts off quite not dark, but so basically there was an article done over near the end of Christmas of a Zambian match fixer. Now I can't. His name is Numchuma Mwita, but he was convicted of match fixing, league matches and stuff. He's since gone off the back of that, done his time. There was actually a punishment for that in terms of prison and stuff. And he's now started going around the country and to different parts of Africa. It's got that big. Telling people and advising people how to not get involved in that, basically educating young footballers and all of that to not get involved in that sort of thing. Because, with all due respect, that is rife particularly in Africa.
Absolutely. Well, we mentioned it earlier on, didn't we?
So I think it's just a really good way to learn from your mistakes and someone who served their punishment.
And it shows from our intro that there's hope for Cameron Bancroft yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Could I finish off with a little fun game we're going to play?
Go for it.
Some of the best transfers. Obviously, we're going into the January transfer window, and
We don't like January transfer.
No, I was going to say that it's the start of the rumour mill again, but obviously, as we mentioned before, it goes on all year now. So let's just say they're at their most rife point during January.
Go on.
So I've got a little article that I don't normally come across these top 10s and top 15s, but it was a top 10 bizarre transfer fees in football. And it is bizarre because none of them involve a financial fee. They all involve substitute items.
Right.
So
I like this.
So
yeah,
you've
no,
got
it's going to be like a cow or something instead.
Oh God.
It's not a cow.
Oh, okay.
Some of the classics you normally expect with its non-league teams, it's things like equipment instead of finances for a player, because that's essentially what they'd spend it on. So there's no problems with that. So, like for example, Zat Knight, 30 sets of clothes went to Russia Olympic from Fulham when they bought him instead of money, which I thought was quite a nice one.
What?
Yeah, back in the day there was a player who went to Hull City from a village. They got £100 plus a barrel of beer, things like that. So,
Was that Dean Windass?
it wasn't. It was a long time ago.
Oh, I thought it would be Dean.
A barrel of beer.
When Ian Wright went to Crystal Palace from Greenwich Borough, that was a set of weights.
Oh,
really?
For their club gym, so things like that. But then we get to number 7, and I'm on to what I think is my favourite of the
Is it an
lot.
advent calendar?
It's not an advent calendar, but we're on the food topic. We're nearly there.
Oh, we're halfway there.
So a player called Marius Cioara, his surname is spelled Cioara.
Right.
Promise you, that was not useful information at all, because if you search him on Google, you won't find much.
Right.
But he was transferred between clubs in Romania, which I believe was his homeland. He was sold. What do you think the transfer fee was?
In Romania,
A car.
if he's mentioned food, is it food?
It's
food,
food related.
yeah.
It's not baklava or something like that, is it? Like
No.
the pastry food.
It'd probably be some
What do they eat in Romania? I don't know. It's a good
I'll
question.
put you out of your misery.
ham.
15 kilograms. What's a good way to start? Of pork sausage meat. The player was so upset by it that he retired the following day.
No.
Because he was only worth.
It's embarrassment.
Well,
15 kilos of sausage meat. I mean, even using Asda's finest, that's about 70 quid. So, I mean...
What are they
not a
going
lot.
to do with the sausages as well? Is that for lunch?
What's best about this, after he announced his retirement the following day, the club he went to, Regal Hornia, where they were called, I'm sure that's not pronounced correctly, they tried to reclaim some of the sausage meat that was delivered because the player never got anything out of the deal. But
Well,
by
I
the
think
time
we know
they
the
got it
name
back,
of this
it was out.
episode.
By the time they got it back, it was expired.
I think we know the name of this episode. Sausage Meat Gate.
So I was going to take you through the top 6, but none of them beat that one.
No,
So we'll
no,
end
no,
on that.
no.
The perfect finish.
Okay, it's time for my favourite part of the show, which was question of the day, but now called Name the Matchday Squad. So,
Catchy.
Catchy, yeah, exactly. You can get that on a slogan.
The Matchday Squad. Moving on.
So, just to clarify, it is sudden death, because that has been an issue for the last
We've
few
got to go
weeks.
through all the rules he's breaking every week.
So I'm going to pick a game, and you're going to name the starting 11 or any substitutes who
came on
who appeared during the game.
And actually had to be in the Matchday squad, unlike Mats Hummels, who wasn't anywhere near the last one that we did.
Or like Glenn Whelan, who sat on the bench and didn't come on.
Yeah, so someone, and then if we get to that point, which given previous form is almost impossible, then we go into people who are on the bench and didn't come on.
Charlie, are you going to give us some of the team before you
No, I'm not going to do that this time. No. There'll be no mentioning of... who was it I did before? Frank Lampard. There'll be no mention of Frank Lampard today. The game we're going to do is the 2008 UEFA Champions League final between Manchester United and Chelsea. Now,
very biased towards Craig.
It is very biased towards Craig. But what is the score at the minute? 4-1?
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
3-0 in this.
Oh, 3-1 overall.
3-1 overall.
Since
I still think, though, Craig, that, to England and Luton, you still managed to get wrong. So
the Luton game you were at.
If you can't get United one, we're in trouble. Who would like to go first?
Craig's turn to go first.
Craig's turn to go first, right. Okay, just to make it a bit easier for you, there were 3 subs made by both teams.
Okay.
Have you got a process for keeping the ones that we've guessed this time?
I think I'll be able to keep up with it. They're quite big names. Let's go for it.
Right, so Edwin van der Sar.
He started in goal, yes, Edwin van der Sar.
John Terry, the famous penalty miss.
It was, because I was going to use that in my intro and then realised I was going to give away. Yes,
I saved you in time.
John Terry, played.
Well, he wasn't going to mention Frank Lampard, but Frank Lampard.
Yeah, Frank Lampard played, yes.
Shall I mention the man who scored a penalty and burst into tears? Cristiano Ronaldo?
He did play, yes.
He scored.
Yeah.
Great header.
Yeah.
Great header. Actually, Lampard scored the equaliser. Do you know that?
Oh, very good.
Wes Brown.
Wes Brown started, yes.
Very good. I'm going to move on to... I think I should go for United first, because then Craig won't know as many of the Chelsea ones.
Good idea.
So based on that, I'm going to go for Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney started the game, but he was taken off after 101 minutes.
He was.
But he appeared. That's the most
important. No, he did appear. No, he's in the squad. Yeah, I'm just letting you know to give you some context.
Fine.
Right, okay. Rio Ferdinand.
He was captain that day, booked on 43 minutes, yes.
I presume to his left would have been Patrice Evra?
He was, yes. He started at left back, yes.
Wonderful.
Nemanja Vidic.
He started at centre half, yes. He was booked on 100 minutes.
That was my next one.
So for United, you've got the goalkeeper and the back four.
Ryan Giggs.
You're very lucky because he come on the 87th minute. But yes, he did play, yeah.
Doesn't matter though, did he? He appeared.
No, I know one of the main United substitutes, but I'm going to save it.
This doesn't normally work for you, Craig.
I know who he's thinking of, which that makes him feel better.
Go on.
Paul Scholes.
He was taken off for Ryan Giggs on 87 minutes.
Broken nose, Paul Scholes.
So I do have another risk if I wanted to completely United, but I don't think I do, because I can't remember if that's the year that Fletcher got banned or not. Because I think that might have been a later one for a Barcelona final, because I remember them being that cost them the game. And I don't know if it's early enough for Carrick, so I'm going to move on and go to Didier Drogba.
He started up front for Chelsea, yes.
Thank you.
Michael Carrick.
He started the game, Michael Carrick.
Good. So this is where you're going to start to run out of ideas. I've just got to have 2 or 3 more Chelsea players. Ashley Cole.
He started left back, yes. Yep.
Carlos Tevez.
He was booked on 116 minutes, but he did start the game. Yes.
Is that all the United players now?
You are missing one Man United player who started the game in midfield, and you've got two subs left.
I know one sub.
I think I only have a midfielder, but I'm not going to go for it yet. It's too risky.
Oh, I know who it was.
And I don't go for the risky ones first. I'm going to go and go for Peter Cech.
Yes, he started in goal, yes.
Michael Essien.
Michael Essien started right back that day, but yes.
Yeah, the shocker.
Now, I'm trying to think, 2008, that would have been the Avram Grant final, wouldn't it?
It was the Avram.
So that means that one man who must have played at some point is Nicolas Anelka.
He come on as a sub on the 99th minute.
He missed the final penalty.
Nicolas Anelka.
He did.
I don't know why I'm pretending I knew that when I didn't even know he was on the pitch, but go on.
Owen Hargreaves.
He started that's the start 11 for United, so you've got 2 subs left to get for United.
I'm saving my one United sub.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, but I'm saving it. I think I know a couple of the other players, but I'm not going to go there just yet. Just give me a minute while I make sure I've got one that I know is going to be right, rather than go for something stupid. I'm not quite as clued up as I think. We might need an intermission here. Well.
How's it going, Charlie?
I don't know if I'm too early for the right back.
Just say it, man.
Fuck it. Branislav Ivanovic.
He didn't play.
Oh, Craig's
yeah!
He rushed me into that.
He said Mikey Essien played right back.
He did.
Right,
he didn't listen.
So, no, considering that wasn't his team.
Hang on.
Oh, so you need to get one back, don't you? Sorry,
I need to
Just
get
let him
mine.
have it, boy, don't you? Fucking hell.
sorry.
I need to name my guy. Actually, I know the other substitute now. The other two substitute. Anderson.
He come on in 125th
The
minute.
other substitute was Nanny.
He was.
I knew Nanny.
So just to clarify, there was for Man United, you had Edwin van der Sar, Wes
Oh, yes.
I will say, Craig, this was heavily in your favour. And
It was
I only
heavily
did this in the interest of trying to make it
Can
I
competitive.
wanted another team.
Can I ask a favour? Can we have a neutral fixture next year?
You had a neutral
can,
fixture
yeah.
last week.
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
Look what happened. For Man United, you had Edwin van der Sar, Wes Brown, Rio Ferdinand, Emmanuel Vidic, Patrice Evra, Owen Hargreaves, Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez. 3 subs come on: Anderson, Ryan Giggs, and Nanny. United players who didn't come on: Thomas Kuszczak, John O'Shea, Mikael Silvestre, and Darren Fletcher. For Chelsea, you had Peter Cech, Michael Essien, Ricardo Carvalho,
Yeah,
John Terry,
Kalou, do you start?
Ashley Cole, Claude Makaleli, Michael Ballack, Frank Lampard, Joe Cole, Florent Malouda, and Didier Drogba.
I was hoping he was going to do the 20.
Oh, Kalou came on as a sub, yeah.
Coming off the bench for Chelsea was Giuliano Belletti, Solomon Kalou, and Nicolas Anelka, leaving
Belletti would have been the...
the other 4 people to not come on were Carlo Cudicini, Alex, John Mikel, sorry I can't even say it,
Alex.
John Obi Mikel, and Andrei Shevchenko.
Very good.
But there you go.
Shevchenko was in the final.
He didn't come on. He was on the
Oh.
bench. But yeah, so there you go, Craig. In fairness, that was heavily biased towards you.
Okay,
and
it's 3-2 question of the day / name the Matchday Squad, and all 3-1 if you're just doing at Matchday Squad. And that is it for today's Ramble. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
It's
and
fixed.
You can tweet us at HonestFootball3. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.